you're going to get people on this. I mean, I'm going to cook stuff from this. Like I look at this and I don't think diet. Does it make sense? I just see a cookbook.
That's the point. You nailed it. I mean, like,
I
dude,
just see a
like
cookbook,
wine
dude.
braised short ribs and things like that. And it's nothing about diet food.
It's just a cookbook, dude, with amazing freaking recipes in this thing, right?
It's
Like
just
that's
a
all I see.
cookbook. It's just
I
a
love it.
cookbook with good food. That's just there to enjoy. And like, I definitely want to make sure that my food isn't only good to keto people, if that makes sense.
100%. That's what I mean by it's just a cookbook. I didn't mean that as just a cookbook.
Yeah, no, I know.
But you know what I meant.
You're exactly on point. Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually had a lot of the recipes tested by friends and family, none of which who are keto, and I will not accept it. Because you find things like that, right? Like a keto cupcake, or you might have had like a vegan cupcake or whatever, and you're like, it's good for vegan.
I've had tons of vegan stuff. Yeah.
But there are good vegan things, and then there's things that are good for vegan. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So thank you for saying that. I appreciate that you caught on to that, because I mean that's really why I called it New Keto, because it's a new approach. It's not about diet food or things trying to be things. It's not like I don't know, keto spaghetti trying to be regular spaghetti. It's just good food that kind of is secretly keto. It
just happens to be keto, right? Like that's it. That's not even the hero of the dish is that it's keto. That has nothing to in fact, it's like a side note. Yeah, it's just like and it's keto. And it's good for you. That's like, oh, okay, awesome. That's like just a plus, right? That's even it makes it so much cooler. No, that's exciting. What are some of the best for some of the listeners? What are some of your maybe a couple holiday recipes, because this will go out here before the holidays. So maybe a couple holiday recipes you like in here, or could be holiday-ish. Does that put you on the spot?
Holiday recipes. Good. Put me on the spot. I should know the answers to these things.
Yeah, you should have a couple in mind. A couple holiday dishes.
Off the bat, the Brussels sprout gratin. That's a side dish, but you just do it in a big cast iron, it is so good. I love that one. The Brussels sprout gratin is a really nice side dish and goes really well on a holiday table. And it's the kind of dish where even non-Brussels sprout people will not be able to stop eating it. It's
totally. I love Brussels sprouts personally. So I would love it. No problem. Yeah. But yeah, for somebody that doesn't, that's how I make Brussels sprouts too. What page is that?
102. 102. And I kind of made it easy by you can buy Brussels sprouts pre-shaved now, so like nobody even has to do all the prep of like, if you want to
cutting off the little end and
slicing it and all that and shaving it. Like one of the things that I really tried to do with the book beyond just good food, I would say there was two other kind of goals that I had, but one of which was making sure that anybody could cook it. That like, this is not a book for advanced home cooks only. Really. And like, that's why like there's certain things that maybe a real chef would like look at me and say like, who the hell would make something with pre-shaved Brussels sprouts? Like in a restaurant, but it's real. This is for real people to make at home and like
to get home from work and actually make a dish.
Yeah. 100%. And like, if you're a purist and you want to shave your fresh Brussels, if you want to pull them off the freaking vine, go for it. No one's stopping you. But I want people to make my food. I didn't want one of these cookbooks that, it just looks good and then you never make anything out of it.
Dude, I have a ton of cookbooks, right? I have, honestly, it's like every cookbook I have is pretty much like that. Yeah. Where you don't want to make it.
I have cookbooks from like some of these, awesome famous chefs and stuff, but there's no way you're going to really sit there and like, take 3 days. Cause that's how it works in a restaurant. You're letting things, there's components to every dish and it spreads out. True. You're letting things ferment and you're letting this marinate and this, whatever, reduction. And it's like 16 elements or whatever. So that's not practical for people. And that goes back to what I was saying about building the community around what I do and making sure that the people that I interact with online or the people who pick up my book can actually make it and not spend 3 days to make a dish. So I think that was really important to me, like actually making food that anybody could make regardless of your skill set, but still kind of make sure it has a little dash of foodie in it, a little dash of
a little creativity.
elevation.
Yeah. Just it'll be nice when they take a picture of it, right, and post on Instagram. The friends are like, "Oh, you made that." It's like, okay. Yeah. No, that's great, man. That's smart. Honestly, this is a cookbook for today. Like, right? Like this is an approachable cookbook for today.
Yeah, I hope so.
Love that, man.
The pound cake is awesome, and I did
I saw some pictures of some people actually making that on your Instagram. That's a ridiculous.
Really good delicious one. And I kind of broke it down, like the dinners are broken down into 2 sections. I call it weeknight dinners versus dinners to impress. What it really means is like kind of easy one pot vibes versus like
I'm all about those
night, date night kind of stuff where you do want to sit around. But like that dinners, the weeknight dinners is just full of like kind of your one pot skillet meals and things that are just like coming home on a Tuesday and you just got to get dinner on the table. Some kind of easier stuff.
I mean, it's got desserts, it's got side dishes, it's got entrees, right? It's got
for sure
for all different seasons, different proteins.
Yeah, for sure.
Heavy, light stuff to impress, guests coming over. Date, just for yourself, like you said, a family. I mean, look at this.
It's a little bit of everything.
It literally has different,
a little bit of everything.
Ethnic stuff in here too, man, which is great, right? Yeah. It's literally, God, this is so good, man. Well explained.
I said I had 2 goals. The first goal is making sure anybody could cook it. The other thing was like, I kind of snuck in culinary lessons throughout the book.
Love that.
Like this filet mignon. There we go. It kind of secretly teaches somebody just how to perfectly sear a filet and how to do a balsamic reduction yourself.
Nice.
Without having to buy the sugary stuff in the bottle. Sure. You literally just cook down balsamic, but people don't know that.
Yeah.
People don't know that necessarily. And so I like to think of this book as a little bit of a crash course, like the scallop dish. I break down in detail how to just perfectly sear a scallop.
Get that sear. Yeah.
Exactly. How to do a crispy skin salmon and build a brown butter and, stuff like that. It's like a secret culinary class. If you kind of cooked through the book by the end, you'd know a lot of techniques. And that was kind of my other secret goal here was like, I mean, people can make these recipes, but if they learn how to sear a scallop, like they're good to go. It's something that a lot of home cooks think is something you can only pay $30 for at a restaurant, but scallops are actually really easy to cook.
Sure.
And delicious and a really nice way to impress, you have a date or something and you sear some scallops at home that,
Yeah, 100%.
You're going to close the deal.
Absolutely. I love it. I mean, 100%. I love it. No, I love that. It's got that underlying message to learn some things, a little bit of something from each dish, right? A little technique here, a little technique there.
Yeah. Braising, awesome, grilling, like just different techniques. I threw in those, some of them have these pro tips. I'll see if I can find one, but these little.
Oh, I've seen the pro tips. Yeah.
Yeah. Little pro tips mixed in. They kind of, again, like little lessons.
Yep.
Yeah, awesome. I really did try to put a lot of thought and a lot of effort into this.
It shows. There's no doubt about it. I mean, 100%. Again, it's just got a little bit of everything in here that, God, there's so many too. How many recipes are in this thing?
65, which is actually, although some
you get
of
your
them
money's worth.
Some of them do have more than that though. Like I said, like some like different components or sauces in it that other books might have broken apart.
I see.
But yeah, it is 65 complete recipes.
God, dude, this spiced carrot cake, I've literally flipped to it 4 times accidentally. I can't stop looking at it. It's calling me. This is, oh my God. But I don't want to make it. I just want somebody to make it for me and I eat it.
That's funny.
I'm lazy sometimes. Look, I see some dishes. I'm
especially with baking. I don't bake all the time.
I just not a good. I've tried a lot, man. I used to even make my own bread for Boca, and It just took a long time to get that right. And just was very frustrating. I just remember it's the most I get frustrated in the kitchen is when I'm trying to bake something and, or I don't know, take a stab at something, different.
I'll tell you, the dessert section took me as long as everything else combined.
Wow.
Because of what you're saying.
I believe it. Yeah.
It's hard enough to bake, but developing baked goods and every time messing with the formulas and trying again.
It takes so long to find out you screwed up.
Yeah. A lot of trial and error.
Right. Yeah. It's a lot of trial and error.
By the end of the dessert, I also screwed up because I saved the desserts for last because I took the approach of like, I don't know if you remember, like back in high school, standardized tests, you're like, just knock out the things and then go back to the hard questions.
Yeah.
So that was when I went into this book, I'm like, where do I start? So I was like, all right, let me start with the shit I know, and then I'll work towards like, the hardest stuff at the end. So I think I started with the sauces. I kind of started with the easiest stuff and left the desserts. I'll tell you, man, after like a few months of this, by the desserts, I was like, oh my God, these should have been first when I was most fresh,
motivated and fresh. Yeah. That's hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, no matter what industry you're in there, the burnout can be very real. And I took a pause for a week or two and then I was like, all right, I'm ready to do this now. Like I'm ready to go. And I put, like, that's what I'm saying. That didn't stop me from putting the love into the desserts that they needed to. And actually some of those desserts I'm like most proud of, like the pound cake, that key lime pie or key lime cheesecake is among my favorite things in the whole book. I did put love into that dessert section, but I should not have saved it for the end. I had to like kind of like regroup, take a break, get out of town for a few days, and then come back. And I took probably a full month just to do 10 desserts. Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, what's great to hear is, look, you've done all the hard work for people. Okay. You've done all the trial and error. You've done all the hard work, the heartache, right? You've been through it all. And now it's on the paper. They get the mountain peak, right? That you get that, right? Like you did all the journey. It's like, here you go. This is,
I suffered for everybody.
You suffered for everybody here, to make that happen. I mean, that's how dishes develop. That's how great dishes do. You go try something at a place. It's like, they didn't just pop it out one day. I promise you it developed. No, people tasted it. They refined, they go back, you do this, you do that. Yeah. It takes a long time. So and absolutely.
That's what, I mean, even restaurants who change their menu seasonally, they're deving the new season like 2 months ahead.
Absolutely. You pretty much start as soon as you finish the new, you're already starting on the next one.
You're starting the next one.
100%.
I think that's why, like, I've been to some Michelin star places and stuff. And I don't know if you've ever felt this way, like some of these places that have a new menu every day and stuff. And, I'm not always thoroughly impressed. Sometimes I feel like conceptually
can be rushed.
There's stunning food, stunning approach, brilliant, conceptualization. But, sometimes I feel like it lacks just like the yummy that I want.
Well, of course. Well, you're talking about a different dining experience.
Yeah.
It's just a different experience. That's all it is. And the people on the other end know that too. The restaurant knows that, right?
For sure.
They probably know you're probably going to go get a kebab after you eat there.
Right. Exactly.